right. Good morning, everybody. Today is September 12th, 2021, and it is the week one of the NFL football season. Everyone is excited. Tom, what's up? I know you're excited.
It's kickoff day. Oh, man, I am so excited. I got no sleep last night, even though I came back super late, but I am so excited for the games today.
Yeah, I totally thought you were. I didn't think you were going to wake up in time. I thought
I didn't end up going out yesterday. I only ended up going out for dinner with one of my friends, and then we ended up going to a bar afterwards to watch the end of the Met game and the end of BYU Utah.
Who won BYU Utah?
I think BYU did.
God damn. At some point during the show, I'll go back and I'll give my record for yesterday. But yes, I am very happy it's the NFL. Overall, this weekend, I'm 1-1. Manchester United yesterday, Cristiano Ronaldo made his start, scored 2 goals. They won 4-1. It was great. And then Ohio State's defense couldn't stop a high school team. So they lost. And that sucked that was at noon. And then the Iowa State game was at 4:30. And I was like, after that, I just really didn't care. I couldn't believe Washington and Michigan was on national TV. But whatever. But yes, we're here. Now that Ohio State is lost, I can fully put my attention towards the NFL and the Browns and obviously everything else. But yeah, so this is just to give a preview of the show. We're going to get into obviously fantasy definitely because I know people have lots of questions. So we'll probably try and answer every question out there, either from people who comment and ask a question, or I'll go out there and get questions for people. This will be able to be downloaded later if you want to get the picks for the late games or anything like that. Be downloadable later on Spotify or downloadable, listenable, whatever. We're also going to get into some, hopefully some DFS. This will be a beginner DFS, or at least for me, because I don't know much about DFS. But we'll get into that probably a little bit, and then obviously maybe some as I see I got the lines up everywhere. I got my lines up. I got Bovada. I got everything. So I'll be watching that, see how those change, see if I maybe when you should lock something real quick. Yeah, Tom. So what are you thinking about the Jets today? They're at 1:00, right?
Yeah, they're one of the 1:00 games. I am going to be watching them, which is a step up from last year when I would throw it on just to see what the score was. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching the game. I really like the fact that they have the Panthers week 1 because I think it is a winnable game, unlike some of the other games that they just have for some reason. They have such a tough schedule, just the divisions that they play, putting aside their own division, which is already very hard. They have a very tough schedule because I think they play the NFC West and the AFC West, I think, are the 2 divisions that they play. So they have a very tough schedule, but this might be one of the games that they actually win this year because I really don't believe in the Panthers just yet. So I'm super excited to watch it. And how do you think the Browns are going to fare versus the Chiefs tonight?
I have not, put my full head into the game yet. I feel good about it right now, or I'll say this: I felt good about it this whole week, and as it drew closer, I started getting worse and worse feeling about it. It's going to be interesting to see where the number ends up, betting wise, because it was at 5.5, or it was at 6.5. Now it's down to 5.5 last night when I checked. I wonder if it's going to go back up. If it goes back up, I would lock that in. I hope the Browns win, but I also just really hope the last couple openers for the Browns have been versus the Ravens where they lost 42-10. So, by week 1, I'm usually off the TV by 2:00. But so that game's at 4:25. It's exciting. It's exciting to see how Jadeveon Clowney, the whole story is the Chiefs' new revamped offensive line, along with the Steelers as well. But it'd be interesting to see how those guys handle Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. And then I don't know. Hopefully Baker does all right. They need to hand the ball off to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt as much as they can.
Yeah, that's the way that the Browns can win today. It's not going to be through the air, I don't think. I think it'll be through their backs.
No, and I have an interesting pick later that I'll give out for that game, especially just because if the Browns do, I've said this all the time. I think I've said it on here before, but like, I think it's always so much easier to upset like Virginia basketball because they play at such a slow pace. And it's almost like that today with the Chiefs and the Browns, where like I want them to slow it down as much as they can and control time of possession, but I also want them to be excited and watch really good football. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure I will go up and down probably like 50 times in the next hour. And then I'll probably go up and down on it for the next, I don't know, 3 hours after that until 4. Like I don't know what to do. We've never not played at 1 on opening day, and I've never been like excited for opening day. I was when Freddie Kitchens was the coach. The first week of Freddie Kitchens, I was like, yes. I had ordered. Oh, that's a funny story. I had ordered a bunch of because Barstool had done like some stuff with Baker, and I bought a bunch of it. And they lost to the Ravens. Like I'm not kidding. It was like 42-6.
I think I remember that. Yeah, even RG3 got in the game and was throwing touchdowns.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yes, it was horrible. And so I had spent like $100 on like these shirts and stuff from Barstool. I watched the game, turned it off probably by halftime. Threw all of my shirts at my brother and said, "Don't ever give these back to me. I don't want them. They suck." I did get one of them back last year at Thanksgiving. He decided to give it back to me. It's one of the Baker shirts, but yeah. So it's a weird feeling. I don't know what to expect, but it's gonna be a fun day. Definitely.
Football's back, baby.
Yes. So obviously some today in sports history because we always do that. All right, in 1976, the Seahawks played their first regular season game. They lost to St. Louis 30-24. In 1988 was the first regular season game played in Phoenix. The Cowboys beat the Cardinals. All right, so cool.
Fun.
All right. One of these is hard. One of them I think you should get. Trivia. If Tom doesn't get it, anyone else wants to, get in on it, feel free. Drew Brees was the previous leader in passing yards in openers. Who overtook him in the last 3 years?
Oh, in openers alone?
Mm-hmm.
God, I don't even have an idea. I don't know.
This is the one you should get.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he like a third-year guy? Like, was he a rookie 3 years ago?
No, this is career passing yards in openers.
I'll go with Tom Brady because that's always a safe guess.
Correct. He passed Drew Brees on Thursday, actually. So.
Oh, really?
I had to find a way to weirdly word the question so I didn't give away the answer.
Yeah.
All right, this one a little harder. O.J. Simpson, Juice, holds the record with 250 rushing yards and 2 TDs in a season opener. He did it against the Patriots. LOL. Who is the recent NFL player who is second with 231 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns in a game?
On opening day.
He doesn't play anymore. He's recent, though.
All right, Jamal Charles will be my guess then.
Okay, no. Well, hopefully, if you remember or I remember, bring it up at the end. If not, whatever. All right, you know what? It's Arian Foster. I just said it. It's Arian Foster. It's Arian Foster because I know that if I get to the end, I'll just forget about it. So, yes, it's Arian Foster.
That's so unfortunate. I was close. I got the timeline right.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, week 1 for us. Let's go. Just some of the what game? Obviously, other than our own games, what game are you most excited for?
Other than the Browns or the Jets, I would probably say the other 425 game of New Orleans versus Green Bay. People were talking about Green Bay blowing them out and putting up all these points or whatever because of the games in recent past. I actually think it could be a lot closer than a lot of people are expecting. So I think that's going to be one of those high-scoring games that'll be super fun to watch.
Yeah, that should be fun. I mean, Jameis, I'm just excited that Jameis is the starter. I'm so happy they didn't go with Taysom Hill. That would have just blown up in their face. Doesn't need to needs to get his turnovers down, basically. But yeah, I'm excited for Jameis to play as well because, I mean, Jameis is good. He's thrown for like 5,000 yards in his career already, so he's good. I would say I'm probably most interested in the Chargers Washington football team game.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers have a lot of hype kind of coming around them with they protected Justin Herbert. They obviously got Joey Bosa on defense. James is back. But then again, I think Washington football defense is the best in the NFL. It's very good. So I think we'll get a good one for that. Which game do you think would be the closest game?
The closest game. Oof. Honestly, it could be the Saints Packers game. It could be the Browns Chiefs, or it could be crap. What was the other game I just had? I'm completely drawing a blank. It'll be one of those three. It could be the Jets Panthers, because it could just be like a 9-3 game. We don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely right with that one. Close game. What was I thinking earlier? I think the Titans and Cardinals might be the closest game, but I actually agree with you. I think that it will be the Packers and Saints, just because Sean Payton will keep the Saints in the game, and Jameis is good enough to throw to keep the offense going. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully they don't have as many turnovers. But I think that's built up for like a game we saw on Thursday. I feel like that's how this one's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Most lopsided game.
Most lopsided. It's hard not to say the 49ers-Lions game. It's very hard.
I was thinking someone else.
Really?
The Bears versus the Rams?
Yeah, that's fair too. I thought you were going to say the Falcons-Eagles, I think, is going to be another lopsided game.
See, I don't think that's going to be lopsided. I think it's going to be like 3-3.
Now, if anything, the Falcons know how to put up points with that offense they have. The Eagles' defense is not going to be able to stop them. But then again, on the flip side, the Falcon defense isn't the best, but I just don't trust the Eagles' offense. So that's why I was assuming that was my rationale on that one.
Yeah, whatever you say. I don't know. Any other games of note? Like I said, I'm excited to see Fitzpatrick with the Redskins, the Washington football team. I'm excited. I'm not excited. I'm interested to see how J.J. Watt does with the Cardinals. All right, this is a good one, I guess. Which rookie are you most excited to watch? Other than Zach Wilson.
I mean, it's gonna like Trevor Lawrence, I guess, would be really interesting to watch. Najee Harris. I'm not really excited for any of the wide receivers, in all honesty. I don't want to watch Mac Jones. So yeah, I'm gonna go with probably Trevor Lawrence, just because he's the number one pick and he has all the hype.
So this is a little weird one, but I'm more interested to see how he just fits in, because I think he just made the move over. Penei Sewell, I believe, is going to play left tackle for the Lions today because Taylor Decker's out for a while. So I'm interested to see how he actually is a left tackle, because I remember coming out, he was an awesome tackle. Everyone said he was an awesome tackle, but everyone was like, he's a right tackle. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. I mean, we all saw what Oregon's offensive line did to Ohio State. So clearly they get some good guys up there, but I think that'll be interesting. I'm interested in the Lions all year, just because with Dan Campbell as their coach. And I don't know if you saw it, but that story about how he cut the long snapper on his birthday, and then he hired him as like an assistant coach. So, but
I didn't. Talk about a bad matchup, though, for Sewell. I mean, he has to go up against the 49ers defensive line.
Yeah, I mean,
playing a position he doesn't like.
Yeah, it's 49ers. I mean, Nick Bosa, and who's on the other side of him? Eric Armstead.
Yeah. So talking about a wrecking crew.
Yeah, I am excited to see I'm excited to see how the 49ers season plays out, because I mean, they're healthy for the first time in a year and a half. So obviously if it goes bad, they can just go to Trey Lance. But if it keeps going well, and like Garoppolo is, I could see it Trey Lance in San Francisco kind of turning into an Aaron Rodgers situation. I don't know if Trey Lance will be as good as Aaron Rodgers, but I feel like, I don't know. But speaking of that, this is what I was going to read you earlier, because we obviously talked about this. This is on ESPN. It just came out this morning. Sources: San Francisco 49ers trade for the number 3 draft pick, spurred by concern over New England Patriots moving up for Mac Jones. So I don't know what that means.
Wait. What? If you were worried about them taking Mac Jones, but you didn't want Mac Jones, then why did you trade up? Didn't they have like 10 or 12?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm reading this right now. Hold on.
I feel like the 49ers had like the 12 pick and traded up to 3 for no good reason, I guess, apparently, because they didn't even take Mac Jones. I remember the rumors were that they wanted him, but like they didn't end up taking him. So why did you give up all the draft capital?
It looks like they just gave it up because they wanted their choice of the litter, basically. Like they wanted.
I get that, but you're not even getting your choice of the litter. You're getting, the third quarterback off the board. Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, I don't. That's weird. But that was just on ESPN this morning.
That's crazy.
All right. So let's hop into a little bit of fantasy. I guess. Who are you most I don't know, maybe not excited is the right word, but who do you think is kind of like, and this isn't getting into stardom sleepers for today, but who do you think is going to have a really good season where like they could end up being a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2, things like that, where you didn't really expect them to?
I'm maybe not wide receiver 1-2 range. But I think Jacoby Myers is going to have a much better year than a lot of people expect. He is the wide receiver 1 in New England. He led them in, I think, receptions, yards, and yards after catch or something like that. Apparently him and Mac Jones have a lot of chemistry so far. And he is – I would classify him as like a nice deep ball guy. Not saying that he's specific to that, but – he has the ability to get open deep, and last year we didn't really get to see him do that as much because Cam Newton was throwing the football. So with Mac Jones there, I think he's a guy that could elevate up the boards, and I think he finished in fantasy like top 25-ish. I want to say, I could be wrong. But Jacoby Myers is a guy that I think could turn a lot of heads really quickly.
Yeah, one that I was thinking of well, it all depends on how the situation at the quarter. I guess a lot of it depends on the situation at the quarterback, how it goes in Indy. But Michael Pittman, I think, could have himself a big year. Obviously, I believe TK or T.Y. Hilton's out this week. Who even else do they have out wide?
They have T.Y. Hilton. They have Paris Campbell. And
yeah, not much. So
I forget the last guy.
I mean, other than Hawkinson for the Lions, I mean, I feel like I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I feel like
Haskell.
Yeah, never mind. Okay, keep going. Never mind. All right, so let's get into it, Tom. Who are the 3 guys that you need to have in your lineup today if you have them?
Well, so my stardom, I do 1 per position other than kickers because you're just going to roll with whatever kicker you got at this point. But absolutely, and some of these I kind of took because, there should be a lock and have a big day. So some of the names in the stardom category, I guess you wouldn't be surprised by. So for starters, Aaron Rodgers versus New Orleans is my starter QB. I think he's absolutely going to have a big day. They're going to be throwing the ball a ton. The Saints secondary is not something that is scary to me, even though they have some big name players on some big contracts. I think that Davante Adams is going to eat as well. So I definitely put in those stacks on my DFS as well. So then for the running backs, James Robinson.
Hold on. So that's funny that you just brought that up. So I was going to ask you, in one of my leagues, I have Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Who should I start? Aaron Rodgers?
I would play Aaron Rodgers just due to the fact that Russell Wilson is playing the Colts, and the Colts defense is going to, I guess, rush him enough to make him uncomfortable. Plus, the Seahawks always kind of scare me in week 1 matchups. They have not always had the best success. So Rodgers, I think, is a lock to have a big day.
Okay. Well, I made the switch. He's in there for me. All right. You go on to your running back.
Sure. So, like I said, my running back, James Robinson versus Houston. Houston defense is in shambles. James Robinson now again finds himself being the pure number 1 running back with no real competition for touches. He's going to put up a big number, I think. And with Trevor Lawrence in the quarterback position, he is still a rookie. He's going to need to check down the ball a lot. He's going to need to, get some rushing attack going to open up some passing lanes. So, what the hell is all going on?
Did you break your computer?
No, I just got an update. Zach Moss is now out for today, but he's not injured.
COVID?
I just got the tweet from Ian Rappaport.
I don't know. I'll try and find something out. You can keep talking.
No, it's fine. Like I said, James Robinson going to have a relatively good day. I could see him putting up. Oh, and so is Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon is also inactive.
Whoa, that's okay. Yeah, wow, that's pretty big. Then I need to change a lot of my teams.
That's crazy.
Why is Sermon that?
I have no idea. He wasn't battling any injury, was he?
No, that's weird.
That is very weird.
And why is Kinlaw out too?
Javon Kinlaw's out too?
Yeah. I thought they were healthy. 49ers inactives, Josh Norman, Sermon, Kinlaw, and then I don't know those other 2 guys, Emmanuel Mosley and Aaron Banks.
Emmanuel Mosley, I think, plays linebacker or safety, maybe corner. I don't know. He's a defensive guy, and then I don't know who Aaron Banks is. That is so unfortunate, but I wasn't very high on either of those guys anyway. So no harm, no fun. Well, I guess Sermon.
I was high on Sermon.
That's crazy. That's unfortunate. Although that definitely boosts the stock of Raheem Mostert for today.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing is if you have Raheem Mostert, you need to play him.
Yeah, I have him starting in one of my leagues already. So with that information, I am now very excited because my other running back is Eckler, who is battling an injury. So
I thought he was doing a contract thing.
No. He was hurt. He was battling, I think it was a hip or something. Let me. A hamstring. He was nursing a hamstring injury. Anyway,
he's a healthy scratch.
Sermon?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a healthy.
That's crazy. Why?
I don't know. Hopefully, we'll get more clarity on that as it comes up. But I'm searching Twitter right now, and that's
insane.
That's very odd. But yeah, I definitely need to change some things now.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
we can't keep going. Yeah, I'll try and figure out more of that like as it comes in. But that
sure.
I just saw it was that's weird. Okay, keep going.
So for going on to my stardom wideout, DeAndre Hopkins versus Tennessee, you kind of touched on the fact that the Cardinals are going to be putting up a lot of points. This Tennessee defense is not very good and any aspect of the game. So I think that DeAndre Hopkins is going to obviously be the primary target for Kyler Murray. and is going to just have another big day. He's the other guy. He's the other part of my stack that I've been doing because I have a few. I keep getting more and more updates about people who are out because now Keelan Cole is out with a knee injury. Trey Sermon, LJ Collier for the Seahawks, but Quentin Nelson's healthy, so that's big for the Colts. Anyway, DeAndre Hopkins, he's a stud wideout, and he's gonna have just another big day. So in DFS, I bounced between the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams stack and the Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins stack. So that's something definitely to keep an eye on. For my tight end position, I'm taking the risk and I am going all in. I feel Kyle Pitts is going to have an enormous opening career day versus the Philadelphia defense. Philadelphia was one of the worst teams when it came to giving up points to the tight end position. Matt Ryan is going to need to spread the ball around a little bit more with the departure of Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley is now going to get the Julio Jones treatment. He's going to be getting doubled all over the place. And Pitts' raw athletic ability is going to make it so that he's going to find ways to get open with those wide receiver mismatches. And then for my stardom defense, I had the 49ers versus Detroit. For obvious reasons, Detroit is not going to have any good weeks.
Yeah, I don't see him having many at all. Okay. Yeah, I think. I mean, I know a lot of the throws are going to go to Ridley as well, but I also think Kyle Pitts is going to have a huge game. I mean, in their last preseason game, they ran a screen to Pitts first play of the game, and it went for like 40 yards. So, yeah, he's a beast out there. It wouldn't surprise me if you see him probably maybe 25-30% of the time out wide, like actually out wide on the line. It makes the most sense, I would think. But all right, then let's get into who you should steer clear of. Obviously, other than the people we just mentioned that are just not playing. So
that's a lot of big names I was not expecting.
I feel like that this always happens though. Like you come in, you don't know who's active and who's injured and who's not, and then like
still though the healthy scratches is just questionable to me. Like why? Like why do you not even want him on the roster? Like what if with Trey Sermon, what if Raheem Mostert gets hurt? Like you're gonna trust Jeff Wilson with duties? I don't get it.
I have a feeling I might have something else going. There has to be something else going on there. That's weird. Your boy Eckler is active.
Yes.
And so is Emmanuel Sanders for the Bills as well, just so everyone knows. Yeah, people are not happy about Zach Moss.
I don't know why. Is he another healthy scratch?
I haven't looked him up yet. Yeah, I haven't looked him up yet. No, but who else do they have a running back?
Well, they have Devin Singletary, who, when Zach Moss hasn't played, hasn't put up bad numbers per se. But it's still questionable because I think Moss is the more efficient back there. And he has the ability to catch the football, which Devin Singletary does not do a whole lot. So that's very questionable. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he's a healthy scratch or if he got hurt recently or something, but that is a huge loss for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, it looks like he's a healthy scratch as well.
I don't understand. Like what? That's crazy. I don't even know how to express anything. Like I'm so confused. I'm very eager to hear why after the game because that's definitely going to come up in the Bills presser, depending or not even depending. It's going to come up no matter the score.
Yeah. So I guess they're just going to go with Singletary and Matt Breida. Huh. All right. Well, I guess I ask you, does that maybe make you, if you have maybe Gabriel Davis or a Dawson Knox, or maybe obviously if you have Stephon Diggs, you're going to play him, but does that maybe make the wide receivers more like playable, I guess, for the Bills? Just because, I mean, that's only two. I mean, it's not even running back at committee. It's really just two of them.
Yeah, so the Bills have always been, and we're going into the season as a pass-heavy team. So I'm very high on all of the Bills receivers, especially obviously Stephon Diggs. But I think Gabriel Davis was going to have a bigger year. Now he can have a bigger game. What's his name? I just had it. Cole Beasley out of the slot could see a lot more targets with the running game. Losing Zach Moss, he would be the guy I think that benefits most from this. But actually, that's not true. The guy who truly does benefit most from it is Devin Singletary. He in games that Moss hasn't played, he actually puts up really decent numbers. I remember Zach Moss was out the first 4 weeks last season, and Singletary put up 17, 15, and like 20 or something in those 4 games that he was out. But then when Zach Moss came back in, I mean, both of them were only scoring about 10 points at most, unless there were touchdowns involved. So, but it also does hinder the fact for them that Josh Allen takes so many carries and takes so many goal line carries because of his size. So that was already a hindrance on them. But now with Moss out, I guess you give a little bit more of a bump to Devin Singletary. But if anything, that just, to me, because Moss was the goal line guy, that means Josh Allen has more rushing opportunities. So there's a little all over the place kind of factor there, but wait, you're not allowed to put out guys on IR?
For what league?
The Flurry Sports League.
Why? What's wrong?
I'm trying to move Zach Moss onto our IR, and I can't. Maybe I just can't do the moves. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, the healthy scratches are definitely going to be something I'm going to be looking for and keeping an eye out for.
All right. Yeah, I'll try and do this. You said Zach Moss to the IR. Okay.
Yeah. Can you do it, or is that just not a thing for you either?
I don't even know how to do it.
You just click on the little bench spot next to Zach Moss's name and then slide down and click the second IR spot we have. Anyway, I will get into the sit-ems now, I guess. For starters, Justin Herbert versus Washington is very undesirable to me, and I know I am a Justin Herbert owner in a couple of different leagues. I used a relatively high-ish pick on him in one league. I think I got him in like the 5th or 6th. So he is my starter. I'm going to have to play him, but I hate the matchup. I am not expecting 25, 30 points like he was putting up every week last year. I'm expecting maybe a 20, would be a good day. Definitely avoid him in your daily fantasy lineups because it is just not a good matchup. Even with Eckler back, I don't like it.
So going off this, obviously there's a lot of people out there that they like to get the quarterback receiver tandem. So obviously with Justin Herbert, you got Keenan Allen. All right, so between these two, if you had these two, who should you play? Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, or Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf?
Can you repeat the two?
Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, or Russell Wilson and DK?
I would definitely play DK and Russ. I would play DK regardless. But I would if you're doing the stack, I'd go Wilson and Metcalf.
Gotcha. Okay. Keep going. You still on your sit-em, right?
I think there is a question from my dad.
Oh, okay. Herbert or Winston this week? Mr. Bennett, that's a great question. Let's hear your son's great response, because this is actually an interesting one for me, because I think that is an interesting question. Like, Herbert's going up against a good defense, but then again, Winston might throw for 500 yards, but he also might throw 7 interceptions.
I mean, he's probably not going to throw 7 interceptions. I don't hate the Packers defense. I actually think it's relatively good. It concerns me with Winston not having Michael Thomas or a top receiver, but I would probably go Winston because he has more upside, whereas Herbert, I guess, would have higher floor. But there's nothing saying that Herbert's not going to go out and throw 3 or 4 interceptions himself. I mean, that Washington defense is going to tear through the offensive line, even if it's revamped and everything. But that's honestly a question that I was kind of toying with for some of my daily fantasy if I wanted to punt quarterback. But yeah, I would go Winston probably, which is really weird to hear and say because you spend such a high pick on Justin Herbert. You expect to start him every week except for his bye week. But this is just one where I'm very fearful. You could also just stick with your stars, I guess, and play Herbert and know that he's going to have a high floor. Winston, I just think, has that higher ceiling. So it depends on kind of the lineup that you have. It's such a good question.
I think I like your dad more. I think I like your dad more than you.
You said, I'm not here to ask easy questions. I have a tough dynasty league to play.
as my dad's out there, they're drafting Tyreek Hill in the first round of a PPR league
with a second pick.
So real quick, now that I think you got it up, we'll finish your sit in a minute. Let's switch over to DFS right now.
Well,
so what would you say?
Real quick, since my dad's asking, he's asking about the dynasty league that we're in. The fact that Bobby, my cousin, had Amari Cooper go for 38 points. My dad's now projected for 14% chance to win. I would probably just play for the biggest upside. Although I'd stick Herbert, in all honesty, in your situation, because while he does have a higher floor, he is a stud. He's going to throw for some touchdowns, so I would stick with Herbert there. That was more of a daily fantasy kind of answer between Herbert and Winston, but in your situation, I'd stick with Herbert.
So we hope that helped, Mr. Bennett. So I'm looking at the league I'm in with you right now, and check out this Mike Evans stat line. Awesome. 6 targets, 3 receptions for 24 yards, but the big getter, the point getter, 1 tackle.
1 tackle.
I didn't know Tom Brady threw an interception. Maybe he did. I don't know. I wasn't watching it.
For 3.
Oh God, I need to. Okay, you're right. Keep going with your sit-em because I actually do need to make changes to my fantasy team to take Trey Sermon out.
All right. So yeah, like I said, Herbert was more of a sit for daily fantasy. I understand you have to play him in certain situations. My sit-em that I picked before the show was Buffalo running backs versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is still top 5. I don't care what anyone says. They didn't do any changes to it. I'm very scared for a lot of teams that play Pittsburgh, but Buffalo running backs was my pick. Now it is still Devin Singletary, knowing Zach Moss is out. Matt Breida apparently has looked pretty decent in camp, so I still think that they're going to utilize him and run out of a committee. And like I was talking about
Time out. I love Matt Breida and Raheem Mostert because they're so fast in Madden. Time back in.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and like I was saying, like we touched on it before, Josh Allen now is going to exclusively almost get all of the rushing touches inside the 10-yard line.
As he should.
As he should, because he is an absolute animal.
And And let's be honest, he's like a full foot bigger than Devin Singletary. Like I think Devin Singletary is 5'7", and Josh Allen's like 6'6".
Yeah, something like that. But like Moss was a guy who they ran as the goal line guy, where he would go out and get the pass, or he would go out and take it in, because he is kind of a bull rush kind of running back. But now I really don't like any of the Buffalo running backs, because any rushes inside is going to Josh Allen. So I avoid that. You know what? That might be my most intriguing game this week. Buffalo versus Pittsburgh. I think those are two teams on the same level.
Who? Sorry. Go ahead. Say it again.
I said that might be my most intriguing game this week. Buffalo versus Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, the rumors out of Pittsburgh, which, I mean, you could take this for what it is that Ben looks really, really good. I have a hard time believing he's going to be able to have a really good year, just because he's at the point where he's like, okay, never mind, we'll get to it. But he's like immobile now. Like, so if they can get pressure on him, like he can't move. All right. One question we got, Ricky Blaze. Thanks, Ricky. We're going to assume this is for PPR. Let us know if it's not. Corey Davis or Jerry Judy?
Oh, those are literally the two guys I was thinking about for my sleeper section. Literally the two guys. I love both of them this week. Jerry Judy going up against the Giants. I think he's going to have James Bradbury on him, which is kind of a hindrance. I would go Corey Davis. I'm very high, like unbiased. Like, I understand I'm fully decked out here. I have the jersey and everything going on, but Corey Davis looked phenomenal in preseason and in practice when I went and watched him. Him and Zach Wilson have a solid connection already. He's his favorite target. Jamison Crowder is out for the game, which means more and more of the short and intermediate routes are going to go to Corey Davis. So PPR-wise, I would definitely go with Corey Davis in that situation. But if you could start both of them, I would, because I really do think having Teddy Bridgewater there is going to help Jerry Judy immensely.
Yeah, if, like I said, take Tom's advice more than mine, but I've been a big fan of Corey Davis. I think he's a top 20 wide receiver in the NFL. I think he has incredible hands. He's not really like a burner or anything, but he has really good hands. And if I'm Zach Wilson and I'm not on the goal line, like a tight end, or I'm looking for Corey Davis, just because that is a very good question. I'm a little down on Judy, but that could be just because I saw CD Lamb drop like 17 passes on Thursday. So apparently SEC receivers can't catch anymore. What's up, Jamar Chase?
I love the Jamar Chase slander, as you're telling me that's going to be the best pick in from our dynasty.
It is. Did you see the interview? Or someone asked him a question. And he was like, "I just missed the white paint on the ball." I was like, "Jesus, dude, just say nothing, man. Like, you got one pass thrown to you all preseason, and you dropped it, and it was a screen pass." There was a video going around on Twitter of like the highlights of Jamar Chase's preseason, and it was just that one play over and over and over again. It was hilarious. I chuckled.
Well, and like he's like, oh, you can't see the white stripes or whatever. He took a year off from playing because of COVID, and he took the year off from playing at LSU. You're telling me you weren't training with NFL regulated footballs that don't have the white stripe? Like, you had a year where you said you were training for the draft, and you didn't use balls without the white stripe? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know, but that is something that, like, and this had nothing to do with him. This is something that I could see, like, I don't know, like even a quarterback doing, like, all their pro day and all their workouts and everything, and then at the end they just get asked, they're like, "Why are you using a college ball? Like, the NFL's ball is bigger and different." So, another question, Lord Shiva, nice. Okay, that's Shiva from what's the fantasy football show? The sitcom, All right, whatever. Okay, which RB would you start, Hines or Kenyon Drake? I know not the best options. Those are not the best options, man. Oh, also, we're gonna be able to figure out what Kenyon Drake is getting because I have to start him now in my league.
Really?
Yeah, because Trey Sermon's out. So we'll see what you do.
Can you click on the question so that it comes on the screen? I want to like see it.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't know that happened. My bad. Yeah.
No, you're good. I wanted to see it. Oh, Hines or Drake. Okay. We were talking about this a little bit beforehand because Justin and I were talking about playing Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake in our Dynasty League or just running Nyheim Hines. Nyheim Hines just got a big contract, like Justin reminded me before the show. I think he's guaranteed $12 million now. Jonathan Taylor is the starting running back in Indianapolis. He's going to see a majority of the touches overall. But Hines does get involved a lot. He gets a lot of PPR points. So he's a nice, quick flex play, or in this case, your running back play. I think he will get some touches, and he's had some big games and some success in matchups prior to this.
Yeah, I'm a big Nyheim guys. I like Nyheim Hines. I like Nyheim Hines. I just, and we've said this, Tom, over and over throughout the offseason, we just don't know what the Raiders are doing. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know. So them signing Kenyon Drake was very odd considering they had Josh Jacobs. So unfortunately, I drafted Drake in a lot of my drafts. I would not suggest doing that. But okay, so next question. Thanks, Shiva. I'm going to find out what that show's name, by the way. Don't worry.
Was it the league? Was that
the league? Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Dude, that was
the
such
trophy.
A great show.
The Shiva's the trophy.
Yeah.
Right,
I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, yeah, I got it.
I don't know how to say your name. You need help in 2 12-man PPRs. All right, there you go.
Okay.
Callaway, this is definitely all you, though. This is you for sure. I have an answer, but I'll let you give the right answer first.
I love Callaway this week. We were just talking about Jameis Winston a little bit before. He's his favorite target so far. They connected on some long balls in preseason. Callaway's going to be the undisputed number one receiving option there. I really like Callaway this week. But Sanders and Boyd, I'm actually very down on Tyler Boyd, not just because of Jamar Chase, but because I think T. Higgins is going to be more involved too this year. And Miles Sanders plays for the Eagles. They have a very difficult matchup. It's not difficult, but they play the Falcons, who, if they did one thing well, it was stop the run. So my pick there would be Callaway. I know he's not the biggest, flashiest name you listed off, but that would be where I would go.
Yeah, I agree with you on Callaway. I also didn't. I think one of the guys that's sneaking under the radar. I do think Miles Sanders is kind of sneaking under the radar because you got to think that Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's a serviceable quarterback in the NFL, but he's not the best. So they're gonna have to run the ball a lot. So, all right, same guy. Another question.
Josh Jacobs, Jarvis Landry, Melvin Gordon, or Russell Gage. I'm assuming this is for a different flex spot. Whew, that is a very difficult group of players.
I'll say this, and this is really nothing other than I'm a Browns fan, so Jarvis Landry is going to have at least 10 targets today. I can't guarantee he's going to catch 10 balls, but he's going to have 10 targets. He'll probably have more than that because, well, with the way that Donovan Peoples-Jones has played in the preseason and training camp, Rashard Higgins was Baker's favorite receiver, kind of. He's dropped down on the depth chart, so that's going to be Jarvis is going to be Baker's like safety spot. So, that would be definitely like if you were looking at like who has a high ceiling in this group and who has a low ceiling. This is a guy where you kind of know what you're going to get.
Yeah, he's got a high floor, low ceiling.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's the block. I automatically would rule out Josh Jacobs because he is going to be taking targets away, or he's going to lose targets to Kenyon Drake. Melvin Gordon has Javonte Williams, who everything out of Denver, they're saying they trust him wholeheartedly with rushing duties. So I would definitely not go with Melvin Gordon because I feel like he's going to end up being a change of pace back. Russell Gage or Jarvis Landry is really the question for me here. I don't know enough about Russell Gage, but the word on the street is he's going to be the new Calvin Ridley to Calvin Ridley's now Julio Jones. I agree with Justin. I would probably go with Jarvis Landry here just because you know what you're getting, and he is going to have that high volume of targets. But if you're looking for someone to give you a big boom, like if you were going up against Antonio Brown and Amari Cooper like I did in one of my leagues, I'm playing now solely for upside. That's where I would go with Russell Gage because I think he could have an explosive first week. But if you're looking for just points to put up on the board, I would go with Landry.
I agree with Melvin Gordon. I agree. Russell Gage is like he could end up having a great weekend. But yeah, I agree. It's like those other three are like kind of scattered around Landry, and Landry's kind of the middle mark. So yeah, I think you explained that really well. Ricky Blaze again. Odd question. Jags defense or Carolina? I'll give an answer here. Well, who are the Jags playing? The Jets?
Oh, no, Carolina. You said Jags. They're playing Houston.
I don't hate playing the Carolina defense just because Zach Wilson's a rookie. He's going to make a mistake or two. That's personally, like I say, I'm not a huge fantasy person, but you are. Like I think you're lucky if you get a decent amount of points from your defense. And so I think, in my opinion, if you have a defense that's going up against a rookie quarterback, you got to think that you're at least going to come away with an interception. Or then if they don't come away with an interception, you know never to play that defense ever again.
Ricky is trying to make me tip my hand all over the place because I actually have the Jags defense as my sleeper defense for the week. Houston obviously has issues. They do have Tyrod Taylor, who's not a rookie, and can hold his own. But I just don't believe in the playmakers that they put around him. And Jacksonville's defense is not as bad as everyone tries to make it out to be. I understand they let up a lot of points and they traded away, I think it was Joe Sherbert. Is that right? They traded Sherbert to Pittsburgh?
I think so. Yeah, it's Sherbert. Yeah.
Sherbert. I said Sherbert, whatever.
Ice cream Tom? Ice cream Sherbert?
One of my fantasy team names is Strawberry Herbert. So
that's weird.
Yes. And instead of a football, there's a ice cream cup in his hand. It's great. But yeah, the secondary specifically in Jacksonville is not as bad as people make it out to be. Losing the linebacker that got traded, because I'm not going to try and pronounce his name again, Schobert. Losing him was definitely a hit to the defense, but the secondary in of itself is really good. And if they shut down, what's his name, Brandon Cooks and rookie Nico Collins, there's no real passing threat for Tyrod Taylor to throw the ball to. And then you get into the running back by committee that's going on there, where I don't think anyone has any faith whatsoever in any of them. So I actually really like Jacksonville's defense this week as a sneaky pick. Or you could stream a better defense potentially if there is one. Thumb up.
Okay, I thought so. Okay. So obviously we're going to keep taking questions. We're going to move away from fantasy for a second, though. Excuse me. Let's get into a little bit of DFS. Or do you want to finish your sit-em first?
Let me finish my sit-em here, and I can kind of breeze through the sleepers as well, because I've actually talked about a couple of them already. Cool. Finish off my sit-em. Kenny Galladay versus Denver. First game with the Giants. Daniel Jones is still the quarterback. Saquon Barkley's back. I can see Daniel Jones relying heavily on Saquon Barkley. And that Denver defense, everyone's been talking about it. They're a sneaky good defense. So I really don't think that Galladay in his first game with Daniel Jones as a quarterback, he's going to have a good day. I really just don't see it. My sit-em tight end, I have Mike Gesicki versus New England. Tua versus New England has not looked good whatsoever. They don't have Ryan Fitzpatrick as a reliever anymore, and Gesicki really had the chemistry with Fitzpatrick, not Tua. And New England knows how to shut down tight ends because they, I think, were ranked in the top 5 last year for least amount of points given up to the tight end position. And just to finish off my sit-em with my defense, I said sit both the Browns and the Chiefs defense because that is going to be a high-scoring affair, if anything.
Okay. I like that. And let's get into your sleepers then.
I think we had something come in very quickly.
Oh, did we? Sorry. Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good.
I need to get better at producing. I'm not used to this. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Shada. I like Shada. It kind of sounds like shadow. Okay, cool. All right. I have Kyler Murray, but I have Jameis Winston on the bench. But do you think Jamie will be doing better fantasy-wise because he's a gunslinger?
That's another good question.
I'll answer my side, and I think you'll probably be more in between than I am. I think Kyler Murray has about 3 or 4 excellent years left in him, and on the goal line, especially with Cliff Kingsbury, he's a huge rushing threat to get in the end zone, read options, draws. I mean, it's going to end up getting him killed one day. It's why I say he's going to have 3 or 4 years left. But I have Kyler on basically all my fantasy teams. He's also my favorite player, so I'm just going to pass one over to Tom because I'm very biased, clearly. So,
yeah, I mean, Kyler is a gunslinger in and of himself. I mean, the high-powered offense, what did they call it? The air raid? Was that like the big thing Kingsbury said?
Yeah.
Kyler is going to have a big day. That Tennessee defense is nothing scary. It's so bad, especially in the secondary. Did they lose? Was it Logan Ryan? Was he? No, that was like 2 years ago. I don't know. They lost one of their key starting safeties on top of having a very terrible defense in the secondary as is. That was like 2 years ago. I don't know. They lost one of their key starting safeties. You good?
Yeah. Sorry, no, I was just copying the link so I can put it on Facebook again.
I got you.
Sorry.
But yeah, Kyler is going to have a big day. He's going to throw the ball around all over the field. So it's Jameis, but Jameis is going up against the Packers, where I actually really like their defense. I shouldn't say like. I don't think that they're a bad defense. So I would go with Kyler Murray. Still stick with your stud.
All right. Good question, Chetta. But yeah, I agree. I think it's Kyler. I think in most leagues, Kyler was 1, 2, or 3. QB 1, 2, or 3. Most of them. I
believe. I'm just pulling up rankings. He finished as QB 3 and the number 3 overall.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that we'll get to DFS in a little bit, but I was looking at DFS. He's like the second most expensive quarterback. So,
yeah.
All right. Shad's got another question. Mike Gesicki and Gerald Everett. Not sure who to start.
Oof. Gerald Everett is a overall sleeper tight end for me this year. Not specifically this week, but overall sleeper. The Colts are very good against tight ends. I think they also finished like top 10 in fewest points given up to a tight end. So both of them have really difficult matchups. Gesicki is, I think, one of the top 3 receiving options, whereas Everett's outside of the top 3. I would still probably play Everett because he did make a name for himself in preseason and showed that he is capable of being the tight end there, and does a very good job of it, I will add. But I am very down on Gesicki this week specifically because of the fact that they're playing New England. And Tua has not played good versus New England. Gesicki gets shut down because Tua does not play well, and they don't have that connection like Fitzpatrick does. So I'm very down on Gesicki this week. I would go Everett.
I like Mike Gesicki, but I just like him because he's tall. So he's good in the goal line. But, I mean, you do have to think about it. The fact that Bill Belichick had Gronk for so many years, he probably knows how to defend tight ends pretty freaking well around the goal line, especially. So,
for sure.
But yeah, Gerald Everett, Shada. Thanks for the question, man. Thanks for the question. Or woman, whatever. All right. You were getting your sleepers, correct?
Yes. So first sleeper, quarterback Matt Stafford versus Chicago. Chicago's defense has not looked the same as it did a couple of years ago. And Stafford now has a ton of weapons that he'd never had when he was in Detroit playing Chicago twice a year. He has a ton of different weapons and options. They have a high-powered offense that's going to allow him to swing the ball over the place. He has a new offensive line that is going to actually buy him some time. I really like him versus Chicago. My sleeper running back, Damon Harris versus Miami.
I like the sleeper Stafford pick. I also think, though, sneaky, and I kind of am disagreeing with what I just said, but I think Jalen Hurts could have somewhat of a big game. The Falcons' defense it's bad.
Their pass defense is atrocious.
Yeah. So, and if the Falcons are putting up, that's all I'm going to say. Jalen Hurts, and if the Falcons are going to put up points, then they're going to have to play from behind. But it also could end up being like a 13-3 game just because both teams suck. But I would just say Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is like against any decent team, I wouldn't play him unless he was your only quarterback, I guess. But against the Falcons, I like Jalen Hurts for that one. But keep going, Tom. You're good.
Yep. Like I said, sleeper running back Damon Harris versus Miami. They traded away Sony Michel. Ramondre Stevenson is the only other guy that's going to compete for rushing attempts with him. You still have to deal with James White being the PPR monster that he is. But Miami, it was a great defense last year, but when they played New England, they always gave up a ton of big plays, especially on the ground. I really like him for this week. And who's the defensive coordinator there?
Where?
Miami.
Doesn't Flores do it himself?
Oh, well, I wasn't sure. That's why I was asking.
I mean, I guess they probably do have a defensive coordinator. I just think
I think Flores does it. You're right.
I think he calls the plays at least.
Yeah. I really like Harris though this week.
Pause really quickly. I'm looking at so one of my picks was going to be the over in the Titans Cardinals game. I've been looking at the line on Bovada. It was at 52 yesterday. It's up to 54.5. If it gets up to 56 on anyone's, I would take the under on that right away. But as long as it stays below 55, the only way I would go with is 54.5, which is what it's at right now. But I wouldn't go higher than 54.5. Otherwise, go under. But back to you.
Right.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Where was I? Whiteout for sleepers?
Yes.
I very much, and we talked about Tyler Boyd a little earlier when someone asked about him. I think T. Higgins is lined up for a big day. Joe Mixon is, I think, healthy and going to be taking a lot of the stuff on the ground and a lot of short PPR points. Jamar Chase does not look good. I don't think Tyler Boyd is going to be there for long. I think he's actually a potential trade candidate with the Jamar Chase pick. But T. Higgins is the guy who I think is going to be more and more involved as time goes on. We saw him break out with Joe Burrow before Joe Burrow's injury last year. He's targeting him a ton. He's going to see somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 targets today versus Minnesota. The Bengals defense is atrocious, and they're going to give up points, which means they're going to have to go through the air. Higgins, I think, could end up being a great PPR play. Seeing somewhere maybe like 20 points, I think is his like high for me.
Okay, cool. Just so everyone knows, on my sports book, I just locked in my over-under at 54. I took the over 54. I don't know if you guys have – it's different out there on Bovada. I'm looking right now. Because if it's still at 54.5, I would say hop on it right now. Yeah, if anyone wants to take that over, I would hop on it right now. It's 54.5. It'll probably get to 55.5, 55 at game time. But I'm locked in at 54. All right, keep going. You're so good.
All right. My tight end position kind of goes in tandem with my sleeper quarterback. Not kind of. It goes exactly in with my sleeper quarterback, Tyler Higbee, playing versus Chicago. Chicago was terrible against tight ends last year, mainly because of TJ Hawkinson. But Higbee is going to be the undisputed tight end now with Gerald Everett out. He's not competing for targets between the two anymore. Stafford knows how to force the ball to his tight ends, and I think is going to rely heavily on Tyler Higbee. And I could honestly see him being one of the most dangerous red zone threats this year.
I'm going to sneak in real quick with a tight end as well. And this is a little bit of a homer in me, I guess, but I really do think David Njoku, like I thought it every year up until this year, and I still think it. I really think this is the year he breaks out. I mean, he's so athletic, and he's like not a poor man's, a modest man's version of Kyle Pitts, where I think they could put him outside and he would be all right. But a lot of people that probably don't have Njoku. Maybe you have Hooper, and then Hooper will get the ball at the goal line probably, but so will Njoku, and Njoku will make big plays. So if anyone out there has him, and you also know the Chiefs defense, other than Tyrann Mathieu, who was just cleared to play yesterday, unfortunately, their defense is not the best. So David Njoku for sure. I love him.
And what about Harrison Bryant involved?
Harrison Bryant is going to get in. I wouldn't. It would not surprise me. Like if later in the season, if Njoku or Hooper go down with injury, which is likely, probably, Harrison Bryant won the Mackey Award when he was in college. He was better than advertised last year. He's going to get in 3 tight end sets around the goal line. I think he'll probably end up having more than 5 touchdowns this year. But you just don't know when it's going to come. But he's definitely maybe someone, if you wanted to have him, well, you could just pick him up at game time anyways because no one will have him. But there will probably be a game or two where I throw out Harrison Bryant.
So I am concerned very quickly because I wanted to see how Sleeper had the depth chart for the tight ends just to see who was where.
Mm-hmm.
Why do the Browns have 6 tight ends on their roster?
Name them.
There's Austin Hooper, David Njoku, Harrison Bryant. Then there's Connor Davis, Stephen Carlson, and Jordan Franks.
Carlson's out for the year towards Achilles.
Okay.
The other guys probably got cut.
Connor Davis and Jordan Franks.
Yeah, those guys definitely didn't make the roster because I did a whole article on like the roster, 53-man roster. They didn't.
They're including their practice squad. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. And then, like I said, my sleeper defense was Jacksonville versus Houston. We already kind of talked about it. So that rounds out my stardom, sit 'em, and sleep 'em.
All right.
Stardom, sit 'em, sleeper. I just wanted to throw out a couple of names real quick to stash in your fantasy leagues if they're on the waiver wire. We talked about Jacoby Myers potentially. Did we talk about it on the show? Or were we talking beforehand?
Jacoby Myers?
Yeah.
No, you talked about him on the show.
Okay. Like I said, I think Jacoby Myers could potentially be a top wide receiver this year now that Cam Newton's not throwing the football. Cedric Wilson, if Michael Gallup is hurt, we saw him come into the game on Thursday, and he, I think, had something like 7 or 8 targets. He is a guy where if you're looking for a pickup for a couple weeks, could come in and get you some quick points. And then my favorite guy that I'm stashing in most of my leagues is Bryan Edwards. He's a wide receiver for the Raiders. Henry Ruggs is now comfortably the wide receiver 1, and apparently is going to look very good doing it. But Bryan Edwards is a guy that not a lot of people are talking about except for people from Vegas. And everything that I've read and done research on him is pointing that he's going to have a good year going forward.
Gotcha. All right. Question from an anonymous person. since Trey Sermon's out, who should I start at? This is a question that this person's asking. Since Trey Sermon's out, who should I start at flex? Javonte Williams of Denver, Laviska Shenault, or Mike Gesicki?
Oh my God! Wait, is that for our team?
No, it's for my team in the auction league.
Oh, in the auction league. I was gonna say because like we have most of those guys. So you said it was Javonte Williams,
Gesicki or Shenault.
Ooh. For me, like I said, I'm not very high on Gesicki this week, unless there is a tight end premium where you get an extra like point per catch or half point per catch. So it would be between Javonte Williams and Laviska Shenault for me. I would go with Javonte Williams because I'm not very scared of the Giants' defensive line and the rush defense until they prove me wrong. Because I know they did get Ojulari and now Leonard Williams is back and all that. But until they prove me wrong, they were not great versus the rush last year. So I would probably go with Williams there. But going with Shenault, Houston's defense is atrocious, and Trevor Lawrence is building chemistry with him apparently. The only concern for me there is there are so many wideouts with Jacksonville, and Marvin Jones specifically has built up a better chemistry with Trevor Lawrence so far. So between him, DJ Chark, and Shenault, the ball could be spread very thin. Whereas, like I mentioned before, out of Denver, they're very comfortable letting Javonte Williams run. So I would probably go with Javonte Williams there.
Okay, well, I started Laviska Shenault.
Beautiful. We love it.
I'm trying to see if this other person has any more questions.
This other person that we don't know.
Yeah, he's anonymous. All right. This person is starting Deebo Samuel in the flex. It's a super flex league. This person has Baker as his super flex, obviously. His other quarterback is Sam Darnold, so I'm going to stick with Baker. But Corey Davis, Mecole Hardman, Jalen Waddle, Dallas Goedert. Here, I'll read you this person's team.
Does this person want to put his team up on the screen?
Yeah, I guess so.
And we are still accepting questions. There's about a half hour to kick off, so get in the questions before lineups lock. We will try and get to all of them.
There we go. I got it. Is it up?
There we go. It's loading in. All right. There it is.
All right. So he's got Kyler Murray at quarterback, Nick Chubb at running back, Miles Sanders at running back, DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, Kyle Pitts, Deebo Samuel, Baker Mayfield, Harrison Butker, and the Browns defense.
It's unfortunate that other guy has Fitzpatrick. There's a super flex right there. Yeah.
Damn it. Baker's going to have a good game. Don't worry.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's why I drafted Sam Darnold, though, too. I'm not going to lie. Or that's why this person drafted Sam Darnold. Okay. So this person maybe find a spot for Corey Davis. That's the only one I can really think of. But I think this person's actually good now that I keep looking at it.
You can also move the Trey Sermon to IR if you have it, because he has the out designation. So you can go and pick up somebody if you need to. Wait, somebody cut Zach Wilson for a kicker?
Yeah.
I think this certain person should consider picking up Zach Wilson.
That's Hank. That's my boy Hank. Henry. He does college football with me.
I think this person who's doing this lineup should consider picking up Zach Wilson after he moves Trey Sermon to the IR.
He's not moving Trey Sermon to the IR because it won't let me move anyone to the IR in any of these leagues. So nothing's getting moved to the IR on my end, at least.
Maybe that's just something that.
Let's just be honest.
Zach
like,
does.
yeah. Let's be honest. I like my team. It's a great team. But like I said, definitely keep questions coming in, people out there. I don't know how we're doing, but keep them in. I post on Facebook and Twitter. Oh yeah, we're stopping the screen. Good. All right. So getting into DFS. So we're just going to run this live. I could probably do it online and share the screen. – 28 minutes until NFL Sunday.
Let's go. I have a project due tomorrow. I'm just realizing.
What project?
I have to just add my voice to a clip that I did and then cut that same clip down to 30 seconds and revoice it. So I'll be doing it tomorrow because I don't have class until 4.
Class till 4. Okay. All right. So let me share the screen up here. I think this is not the sports book, but let me make sure. All right. So we can see my balance. All right, Tom, I think you know a little bit more than me.
All right.
So I'm just going to get into one of these classic styles. Should I get in the first, second, or third?
Do the $1 one.
Do the $1 one.
Or the $5. I don't know. It's your money. You do whatever you're doing.
All right, we'll do the one. You know what? No, we're not. Yeah, we'll do the $1 one for now because then there's a different thing for like the 4 o'clock games. I can do that. So, how about you let me enter DraftKings?
Just take my money.
There we go. Because one of the big things that as soon as Trey Sermon, the things went out that he was not playing, apparently Raheem Mostert is really good price on here. So I'm looking for him.
Oh, that's true. And they're playing the Lions.
All right. Let's start with the quarterback. All right. Yeah. See, like Kyler Murray's second here. I don't know. I'm tempted to go with Aaron Rodgers. What do you think? Because I definitely don't want to go with Herbert from what we said.
Mm-hmm.
Not Tannehill, not Hurts, because I just don't think we'll have that good a game.
I would probably go Rodgers here.
Yeah, I'm going to take Rodgers. Sweet.
I think you have to hit the little plus.
Yeah, I drafted him. I drafted him. No worries. I'm going to get Raheem Mostert. Yes, right? You think that's a good one? Or maybe James Robinson? Or I have 2 running backs. How about I do James Robinson and Raheem Mostert? Give me some advice, Tom. Give me some advice. I'm trying to find Mostert.
He's probably down more.
Yeah, he's 58.
There you go. Yeah, that's a great lock. On FanDuel, his price actually went up after the news, so now I'm very upset. I went to go look. With that second running back, Derrick Henry obviously is going to be a vital part of the offense.
Yeah, I didn't care about Derrick Henry, so I'll go with Nick Chubb.
You could do Chubb, or I actually liked your idea of going with Robinson potentially.
All right, yeah, I do like Robinson. We'll go Robinson. All right, wide receiver. Definitely. Is that too much? I'm so freaked out, and this is just like honestly about this season and fantasy involved with it. Like I just don't know how DK Metcalf's gonna do. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he could be like a superstar with Russell Wilson, but I also feel like he's gonna get mad at Russell Wilson a lot.
DK, yeah, I could see it.
All right, so, this is a fantasy question then too, and I guess it could be a draft or DFS or even it's a gambling thing. Really, I guess any way you do it. With the Titans, like I kind of took the approach of like I was going to stay away from AJ Brown and Julio Jones. Like, what were your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? Both of those guys doing like together, just fill me in.
I think A.J. Brown is the biggest benefactor from all of this. Julio Jones is going to keep the floor that he had in Atlanta, if not build up from it. But he is still going to get that double coverage all the time, where A.J. Brown was the guy getting double covered, and he's now going to be getting single covered. And we've seen what A.J. Brown does in single coverage. He is a great route runner. He has great hands, super strong to break some tackles. I'm very high on A.J. Brown this year.
Okay.
So you have 3 wideout spots that you need to fill in: a tight end and a flex and defense. I would probably I would spend up and take the Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers stack, just so that you have the both, because we did talk about how it's going to be a big game for the both of them.
All right. All right. I got Davante Adams. Like I said, I'm gonna put Landry in there just because so Davante should have a ton of numbers. Landry, I kind of know what I'm getting with him, like we talked about, and then maybe I'll take a chance on like a young guy or let's see down here. I want to do Odell, but like at the same time, Baker played so much better without him, which really doesn't mean it. How about Corey Davis? Doesn't really.
Corey Davis is nice and cheap. If you're gonna pay up for tight ends, oh wow, they have Jerry Judy and T Higgins listed below him.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, take T Higgins.
Yeah, I guess. Jeez. Yeah, I would go Higgins.
All right, tight end. I love Hopkinson, but I don't think I think people think he's going to have. All right, well, this is easy. I'm taking Kyle Pitts. He's my tight end in literally every single one of my leagues, so that's fine.
So you have 2 things left. All right, yeah. Fill out your defense first, because you want to see how much money you have to spend on your flex.
Well, no, we should do flex first.
Versus the Chiefs.
Yeah, shut up. You know what? I'll take the Jaguars.
I like it versus Houston. I don't think that they're gonna have a big week.
All right,
now you got 4,900 to spend.
All right. All right.
Hawk. Corey Davis.
I can't do Corey Davis. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Jamar Chase. I'm that serious. He's gonna have a big game.
But you already have T Higgins.
That's true. I don't want Jamar Chase then. Wait, maybe I want Jamar Chase and not T Higgins. No, but you like T Higgins. Okay, so you better be right about that.
I think he's a solid pick for this week.
48. What about Judy?
The Giants' defense isn't fantastic, so that's not a terrible choice. You could also go with Mecole Hardman, hoping that Tyreek is getting doubled or whatever.
I might just go Corey Davis. I'm not picking Chiefs players because I don't want them to Are you serious? No. Oh, what about Singletary? But we did talk about that. I'm taking Judy. That's it.
Yeah. Solid choice. I would spend that other $100 somewhere else though if you are not comfortable with someone. Like if there was someone over James Robinson that you liked for $100.
Let me see.
So you're looking for someone at 65. Sanders, nah.
Yeah, that's fine. And then I like Adams. I like Landry. You really think T. Higgins is going to have a good game?
I think that he could. I'm not guaranteeing anything because
well, none of this is guaranteed.
The Vikings improved their – well, actually, I don't even know if they improved their secondary, but they definitely brought in Patrick Peterson, I think it was.
All right. Well, I'm entering that one. We'll see how that does when we obviously go over everything, and hopefully by next week, we'll be able to, fully get into this, do different kind of league, do different kind of contest now, because it's obviously become a big part of. I mean, fantasy is a huge part of it too, but obviously now DFS is a big part of it now. So I'm gonna get my handle on that and be able to give out some advice, hopefully starting next week and everything like that. But also I keep seeing this everywhere. Prashad Paraman signed with the Bears, but he's not. He can't get any.
Can't play this week. Yeah.
Okay. So did they just sign him today?
That's what I'm thinking. I didn't even hear that, so that's what I'm thinking.
Oh no. All right. I'm gonna get this off the screen.
Yeah, I think Zach made the fantasy IR. He made it so that only guys who have the IR designation can go on it, which is crazy. I've never been in a league where that's been a thing. I'm also in another league where there's no IR period, which was like kind of crazy to me.
Sorry, say it again. What did you say?
I said I'm in a league that doesn't it doesn't have an IR, which is just weird.
I mean, that just means you got to keep your eyes on the transfer wire.
Well, it's just weird because like they didn't like if you were to say, okay, yeah, there's no IR, but you have 2 extra roster spots, I get that, but they don't even do that. Like it's a normal setup just without IRs. I didn't like it because I took Michael Thomas thinking that I could just put him on my IR for a little. I've since cut him because I can't keep him on my roster.
All right. Hold on. All right. So I'm going to look up some just, regular fantasy questions I see people answering, thing like that. And then at the very end, I'll get into my picks. Nothing has really changed on my end yet. I will say this, though. Here, I'm about to lock another one in. Let me make sure it's the same thing on Bobada.
Have you heard anything about those healthy scratches?
No, I'll keep looking, though. Like I said, Trey Sermon's – I think Zach Moss is really weird on that. That's a weird – like he never got in trouble, I don't think. That's just that's weird. All right. Wow, this is a big change. Oh, no, it's not. I lied. Never mind. Well, the Washington football team has gone up a full point. They're now -2.5. They were -1 yesterday. So
wow.
All right, it's moving up right now. Okay, so I just locked in the Steelers and Bills over 48. The Steelers have no defense. I mean, the Browns scored 49 on them in the playoffs last year, and their defense didn't get any better. I kind of wish TJ Watt wouldn't be playing because this would be the easiest over in the world. And then Buffalo Bills, they're going to score too. Neither one of them have great defenses. Buffalo's defense has gotten a little bit better, but not fully better. So I really like that over. Twitter. All right. Where am I? NFL futures.
I just got 3 updates, and it's all about games starting in 15 minutes.
Games are starting in 15 minutes. Oh my God, I can't believe it's here.
I know, bro. I'm so excited.
It's crazy, 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 crazy.
So, is there any specific guy that you're still questionable on?
I'm looking through everything right now. We got another comment. Looks like. All right, so jammed as Swift, Higgins, and Gaskin. T. Higgins must be Miles Gaskin, pick 2. Swift and Higgins.
DeAndre Swift, T. Higgins, and Miles Gaskin. You pick 2 to start.
Yeah.
I would go with Higgins and Gaskin. I really don't like Swift versus the 49ers today.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and especially with the new tackle.
Yeah, with the new tackle who's going to get eaten alive by Bosa.
Whatever side. Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. Yeah, no. Is Miles Gaskin a Giants player?
Dolphins.
Okay.
I think that he's going to be a PPR guy. Tua's going to look to dump off to him a lot. Right. I would go with Gaskins and Higgins there, even though you probably paid up for Swift. But I also did you see all of the stuff that was going on Twitter with DeAndre Swift?
No, he's trending right now.
Apparently, he's involved with a murder case.
What?
Like allegedly, he's involved with like a murder case.
I'll look at that in a second.
I think it's all Twitter hype and it's not real because the police are not talking about ongoing investigations or whatever, but all of Twitter is talking about it. So I just thought that was interesting.
I'll click on it in a sec. I just want to read this off. Please, these are just Schefter just. Actually, this was 12 hours ago, so maybe when Wentz is playing, Quentin Nelson's playing, Burrow's playing, Eckler's playing, Trey Lance is. These are all active players, I guess. Deshaun Jackson's active, Noah Fant, and Saquon Barkley, which brings me to my question. What do we think we're going to get from Saquon Barkley this year? Like, what's a realistic? Because for me, and for whatever reason, I think about it the same way with Christian McCaffrey as well, because Christian McCaffrey gets injured, but people seem to just get over that pretty easily. It might also be because Barkley's so young; he's been injured; he's barely played a season. That's why I was surprised when people would draft him in the first round. So.
I think that when healthy, Saquon is a top 5 running back. The fact that he's not fully healthy right now, I think if he plays all 16 games and barring any injuries, obviously, I think if he plays, he's going to be a top 8, top 10 running back in fantasy. They're going to need to rely on him a lot in New York because Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. But I just can't see him finishing. I can't see him finishing outside of the top 10 if he plays all 16 games.
No, I agree. I just, it's just, I don't like with me. I just don't see how he doesn't get hurt again. He always gets hurt. He's one of those players who just always gets hurt and is always going to have that wrap around him. So, whatever. But, all right. Any other questions I had here? We'll play today. Saquon Barkley. Here, I'm going to go to the Swift stuff. See
the Swift stuff.
Okay. Wow. There's a lot of Taylor Swift coming up.
Taylor Swift.
And so, well, that's probably why that's trending. Wow. Tom, just so everyone knows, Tom's cheating. He's the commissioner in one of the leagues, and he's changing the rules so we can win right now.
I used my commissioner power to fix a roster because someone reached out to me and said they made a mistake. And he went 2 days without being picked up, so no problems with it.
That's what you think.
All right. Well, if we have any last-minute questions, get them in now because I think we are getting ready to wrap up here. Maybe.
Yeah. Because we definitely want to get you to your game. Because yours is at 1. I got to wait around for a little bit. Lucky me. But then, if we're gonna, I'll get to my picks. I'll probably do 5 or 6 a week. I'll usually include the Browns. I will include the Browns as well this week. So my first 2, like I said, both overs. Arizona, Tennessee over 54 is what I got it at. I just refreshed Bovada to see what it is. I also took the Steelers and the Bills over 48. And make sure those lines are still. Oh, that's good. That's good. I don't want futures game lines. All right, Cardinals. It's 54.5. I would take that as well, and then I would highly doubt that this moved. It's 48. I would also hop on that. I have the Jets at plus 3.5. I'm taking the Jets plus 3.5 versus the Panthers. Yes. I also like Washington football team plus or minus 2.5. New coach for the Chargers. Traveling all the way to the East Coast. So, that's not going to be easy for them. 2 more. Okay. I would also take the under 46 in the 49ers and Lions.
Under 46?
Yeah, that's what I would do. I
don't really see the Lions putting up any points on their half. So unless the 49ers can put up 40 points, I'd probably go with the under 2.
And then, I'll probably throw out a Monday night and a Sunday night bet tonight. I'll just put it out on Twitter. But then I'll go with the Browns plus 5.5. And
I think they can cover that.
I think they can too. I was kind of hoping it got back up to 7, but it didn't. That's fine. A sneaky play, if you're feeling lucky, is actually the under, I think. The Chiefs have a way new offensive line, like we talked about. They're going to have to go up against Clowney and Garrett and some new good defensive backs. Basically, I see this is either going to be a super high scoring affair or it's going to be a really, really close game in the high teens, low 20s. So whichever way you think that might go in your opinion, I would take the over under in that. But I'm just going to stick with the Browns plus 5.5 for now. Like I said, I'll read them over again. Arizona, Tennessee over 54 game. Steelers, Buffalo over 54 game. Jets plus 3.5 versus the Panthers. Washington football team minus 2.5. 49ers and Lions under 46, and the Browns plus 5.5.
I love that. That's a great ticket. I love that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
All right. So that looks like we don't have any more fantasy questions coming in. I will put in the YouTube profile, there is our Twitters, but I'm also going to repost this on Twitter and everything, and I'll put our Twitters in there. So if you have any questions like that, or if you have any questions during the week, especially I know for gambling, people like to hop on and get on early lines. Whenever we record, I'll probably give some early lines for our regular show. But like you said, feel free to contact us. Tell your friends. We would love. We did have a good out. Thanks for everyone for asking questions today. It went pretty well. I think it went as well as we expected. But like I said, we would love to field questions from 11:15 till 1:05, like literally for an hour and 50 minutes. We would love to answer questions. So I think we did a pretty good job today. Like I said, I think that ticket, my ticket, I think it's a good one. Tom, everything Tom said, I think he knows what he's talking about, so that's good. But
I hope
yeah,
I know what I'm talking about.
it's crazy. I'm excited. I'm about to go downstairs and turn on the TV and watch some NFL football after all those great college games yesterday. But all right. So before we wrap up, then your prediction score for the Jets game, and I'll give my prediction and score for the Browns game.
I will go with 20-13. No, that's too much. No, I'll go 20-13.
20-13.
Jets.
Winning. Okay, that would be good. I like that.
What do you got for the Browns?
I know, yeah. I'm going to go with the Browns 27. No, the Browns 31, Chiefs 27. 31-27 Browns. I will probably always just pick the Browns to win, so like that's not my gambling advice. So don't take that and do it. Even though I do think Cleveland will. I do think my Brownies will cover 5.5, especially because even I could see them getting a late cover at the very end. But yeah, it was a great show. Like I said, I'll put this out on Spotify. I'll repost it on Facebook and Twitter, and then we will see everyone else next Sunday. But obviously, we'll do our regularly recorded show. I believe we'll release it on Wednesday. Then we'll do Pick'em on Friday again. We'll see how I did this week. I think I did pretty well, but we'll see how I did this week. And then obviously next Sunday we'll be right back at it right here.
We got one last-minute question.
I know, I just saw it.
Psych.
It's really – who is this? Do you know this guy?
No.
Oh.
I think Tyrod Taylor could potentially cook on the Jaguars. I don't know. I don't know how good that Mahomes guy is, though. So,
you know what? If there was ever a year for Mahomes to be down, it's this year. He's had already 3 great years in the NFL, 3 great years in the NFL. You can't have just 4 right out of the gate. One of them's got to be a down year. And Tyrod, I mean, first of all, let's get it right. It's Tyrod Taylor. It's Tyrod.
I'm just going to call him Taylor, and if he doesn't like it, then Taylor can go cry about it.
I clearly don't remember his time in
Cleveland.
I know. I remember. He said his name was Tyrod. But yeah, Tyrod Taylor. I don't know, where did Tyrod Taylor must have went to Virginia Tech.
He did.
Well, yeah, Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor.
I think you're joking, Greg, but
maybe Josh Rosen. Bro, I would go with Josh Rosen. Matt Ryan gets hurt. You already know he's the backup.
I'm telling you this is going to happen right now, and I'm telling you it's going to happen. Sam Darnold is going to have an above-average year for Carolina, and someone's going to trade like a third-round pick for Josh Rosen next summer. They'll just be like –
third-round pick?
They'll just
Didn't
be
they
like,
just sign him, though?
I don't know. I don't know. But Josh Rosen's not it, man. He's not it. He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
Not that guy.
All right, Tom.
Trust me.
I think it's your time to go watch the game. You gave your prediction. Great show. Like I said, I'll put it out everywhere. But let's have a great NFL Sunday, Week 1. Go Browns. Let's rock. Tom, any last words?
Sco Dogs and Sco Jets. You already know. I'm ready for some football.
We have to change it to Sco Jets now, I think so.
Sco Jets, but I got to represent Sco Dogs.
We could actually trademark Sco Jets probably, but whatever. All right. Yeah, they wouldn't cease